Welcome to the show, everybody. Joseph Robert, the fantasy football counselor. We got an exciting episode. We're talking about Kenny Golladay's fantasy football value for 2020. We're continuing on with the Impact series. I've got a very special guest. We got Dose of Dion, Troy, on with us. He is a Detroit Lions ambassador. He's an analyst. He knows the Detroit Lions, and he's got a booming YouTube channel focused on the Detroit Lions. What is going on, Troy?
Hey, what's going on, Joe? Thanks for having me. Yep, I do all the Lions stuff. We got a pretty good fan base over there. Trying to get some optimism because, we haven't had a great history, so I just try to bring it into every year.
Yeah, man, fantasy relevant this year for 2020, including Kenny Golladay, a guy that I was high on last year that we're going to get into. We're going to talk about that. We're going to touch a little bit on the quarterback situation, a little bit on the running backs. The main focus is Kenny Golladay today here. Make sure you guys leave a comment below. I want you guys to interact here on the YouTube channel. Of course, man, leave a thumbs up. And again, comments below. Are you drafting Kenny Golladay after what we say here today? Before we get into that, when did you start your YouTube channel? Can you tell people how to find you, your handles on social media so people know who you are, how long you've been at it, and why? Why did you start this, basically? Those three questions.
Yeah, I started my YouTube channel probably about a year ago. It was just Dose of Dion. There was no 2.0 at the end like there is now. That was my first channel. I lost that one. It was hacked. It was a dumb mistake I made. So I restarted. So this is my second one. Probably 5 months ago, I started this. Everywhere on social media, I'm just Dose of Dion, no capitalization, no spaces. And I started just like talking about the Lions. I always talk about it at home. And I would like listen to them on the radio after games. And I was like, shoot, I just want to talk about it too. So I was like, might as well start something. And it took off. It had a lot more traction than anything else I tried. So I just stuck with it.
So just put Dose of Dion on YouTube and you'll come up.
No
okay,
space.
Perfect. Guys, this is your inside information for the Detroit Lions right here. All right, so I'm going to get some questions here for you on Kenny Golladay. Last year, the mainstream, which I call the consensus rankings, the consensus rankings, I like to say because I call them sheep, we're all kind of not so high on Kenny Golladay. I was hearing the rumors of mini Megatron. I was hearing all these things. I heard a lot of buzz about him. The guy is extremely talented. I've actually got his jersey over here. It's a signed jersey. I don't know if I'm going to give it away. I like it too much, so I'm probably not going to give it away. But I'm a big fan of Kenny Golladay. I should have wore the jersey actually first, but I don't want to ruin it. I like this jersey. I might have to frame it. Big fan of Kenny Golladay. Last year, we understand he had a good year, great year in fantasy. But the only thing is, my concern was, with Stafford being injured last year, that may have hurt him. He still managed to get 1,190 receiving yards, 11 touchdowns, 116 targets, 65 receptions. Now, imagine if he had 150 targets like the DeAndre Hopkins of the world, the top receiver like Julio Jones of the world. Imagine if he had 150 targets. Mm-hmm. So my question to you is, let's start off with Stafford. Is he coming in and looking, because this is going to predicate and help, the value of Kenny Golladay. Is Stafford looking healthy going into 2020 fantasy football season? Start off with him, please.
Yeah, I mean, the talk has been that he's fine. He said he's ready to go. He's full go for training camp. But we definitely need him healthy, like you said. I mean, statistically, there was a little bit of a drop-off when we went to the backups. He had actually 100 yards less in the same amount of games with the backup quarterbacks. So, yeah, he dropped off a little bit. But, with involving the new offensive coordinator, Matthew Stafford's taking a lot more deep shots like he used to with Calvin. And that's kind of what Kenny Golladay was last season. But the thought is that Matt Stafford will be fine. They also signed a backup quarterback that they didn't really have last year, that if Stafford did go down, they expect him to be better. So, the thought is that they should be fine even if Stafford goes down because they gave money up to get a backup quarterback in Chase Daniel. My
question is also, because again, I'm a little concerned here. Okay, so let's say Stafford is fully healthy, okay? Mm-hmm. My first question, is this definitely 100% going to help Golladay, or did you find some of the quarterbacks that came in last year kind of inflated Galladay's value? What do you think? Is it better Stafford throughout the entire season? Will he hone in and target Golladay more?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he'll target him more, but I feel like I don't think it inflated with the backup quarterbacks. Stafford's a better quarterback, obviously. And, like the numbers just across the board were way better when Stafford was in there. I mean, he had 3 more touchdowns with Stafford. Stafford had, his highest yards per attempt in his entire career last season because of the new offensive coordinator. When you have Stafford in there, it's a lot better than having the backup quarterbacks. So, yeah, I think with Matthew Stafford, that's what kind of you're looking for. I don't know what to expect from Chase Daniel. I mean, we haven't seen him a lot. So if he has to come in and be the backup, I don't know what you're going to get out of him. But, yeah, definitely Matthew Stafford. If he's healthy, I see Galladay's numbers going up. Maybe not volume, but production I think is going to be better.
All right, I want to ask you about Marvin Jones. Prior to the show, we said he's still going to be there. He was a thorn, stole 9 touchdowns away from my Kenny Golladay because I was a big Kenny Golladay owner.
Yep.
is he going to continue to be a thorn in the side of Kenny Golladay? And when will Kenny Golladay draw that double coverage and open things up for Jones? Is Jones going to be a pest is my question.
Yeah, I think I was thinking about it. I think Jones is kind of the way to go for me because, he's expecting to have a big touchdown year again this year. I mean, Kenny Golladay still did. I think he was tied for the league lead in touchdowns last season, even with Jones. So, I mean, but Marvin Jones, yeah, I think he's still going to be taking a lot of things away. The thing with Marvin Jones that I look for, the last 2 seasons, he has missed games with injuries. Last year, 3. I think the year before that, like 7. So he misses games with injuries. And when he's out, they kind of, all the backup quarterbacks were just throwing it to Kenny Golladay. That's kind of how it looked on the field. But yeah, Marvin Jones is kind of the guy that I don't think they focus on as much because of his age. He's forgotten. I think a lot of the, slot wide receivers, maybe like the depth ones, those guys were getting big plays because they weren't looked at all. So yeah, I think guys like if you look Marvin Hall last year, this was a guy that really no one knew. I think he's from the practice squad. The dude averaged, I think, 39 yards per reception. I mean, because he was just going deep and they didn't really focus on him.
Yeah, I see that. He had 11 targets for 7 receptions and a touchdown. Marvin Hall, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of came out of nowhere, didn't he?
Yeah.
But that's what I hate for fantasy. I just want Golladay to get the volume. Now,
right.
I usually know when to hold him. I know when to fold him. Last year, I was getting Golladay in and around the 4th round was his average draft position for fantasy football drafts. I was doing a bunch of mock drafts. He was going 4th round. I was stealing him. I was loading up on running backs and getting Golladay in the 4th. This year, he's pretty much on the mainstream rankings, ranked 7th overall. I mean, he's even ahead of a lot of elite talent guys. The way the rankings are now, I've got, with me anyway, I've got him higher up. But the problem is, I don't know if I want to invest in such an early pick on Kenny Golladay. So you're saying maybe as a sleeper, Jones would probably be a good value later on, right? Instead of investing early.
Yeah, I think if Jones is healthy. But the thing about Kenny Golladay, as a lot of players are, you got to keep in mind he is on his contract year as well. All of these guys are, Marvin Jones, Danny Amendola is as well. So they're all going to be playing. And I think the one guy that we expect to get the extension is Kenny Golladay. So I'm sure he could have his best year that we've seen so far.
Yeah, I'm looking for a healthy Stafford is a good thing. You're saying,
yes,
okay. Marvin Jones still could be a pest. Okay, let's talk about. I don't want to go off too much and talk about Kerryon Johnson, the running back game. Again, I like to tease the audience and have you come back. But what I do want to talk about is the fact how good is the run game going to be. So much so that it's going to distract the defenses, so that maybe they can bring in some stack boxes, open things up for Golladay. Because I think they're going to be focused on the passing game more. Are they going to be looking to draft a running back the 1st round? What is their need right now in the NFL draft, and how is that going to affect the run game?
Yeah. Well, this offseason, they let go of one of their top guards. They let him go sign somewhere for a big deal. They also let go of the right tackle who was struggling last year. They brought in Big V from the Eagles, who's known for his run blocking ability. So I think that helps. They also, their biggest need is guard, I think. So I think they'll go. I don't know if they'll go 1st round because guard isn't really like a 1st round talent this year. It's more 2nd, 3rd round. So I think middle round. I don't know how they're going to go route running back. I personally would not be shocked if they went 2nd round. That way they don't have to pay as much, but they go 2nd round. Taylor, Dobbins, Swift, those guys are out there, especially if they do trade back like the talk is. So I wouldn't be shocked if they went running back, but knowing, Bob Quinn's philosophy since he's come in is he wants to be able to run the football. We haven't really been able to do it yet, though. So I'm not really sure, but I think the move with Big V is kind of to the point where seeing Stafford get injured, you're kind of trying to take pressure off him. So I could definitely see them going to the running game. And I wouldn't be shocked if Kerryon's one of those guys that could be like one of those surprise trades that you see, because Kerryon, just hasn't been healthy at all throughout his career. I mean, he's shown at glimpses that he can be good, but I wouldn't be surprised that was the guy that was moved on draft day and then they went high running back.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Kerryon Johnson. Injuries being a plague. It's just one of those guys already. He's still a young guy, but years to wow me, I'm not wowed yet. So I need to see more out of him. I'm sure they're going to hopefully address that running game because I think they're locked and loaded at wide receiver. One guy, again, I don't want to talk too much about this, but a guy I was really excited about, TJ Hawkinson last year. What happened to him? How come he didn't really find his gear? Why didn't Hawkinson get going? Because I think I like him this year as a sleeper. What happened to Hawkinson? I think it was a Stafford injury. What are your thoughts?
I think, Hawkinson missed, I think, a game or 2 because of an injury, but it wasn't nothing serious. Before that, he wasn't that big. I mean, his week 1, he looked really good. I think it's a couple of things. I think it's, that our blocking was so bad at the tackle position and we struggled so much that guys like Jesse James, who we signed a big deal, didn't even have an impact catching the football because he was stuck there blocking a lot. Right. I think TJ Hawkinson, you see with a lot of really good rookie tight ends. I'm not trying to say he's going to be one of the next best, but a lot of rookie guys like like, for example, Gronk, he went from like 500 yards receiving rookie year to next year as a Pro Bowler, 1,300 yards. He just broke out. I mean, I think Darrell Bevel's system calls for a good tight end or two of them. That's why they went and invested so high. So I would assume he would have a bigger impact, but I also think they went that route so that he could block. So I can see him as a goal line type of threat if he, stays healthy and not tries to jump over people. But
Right.
yeah, I think he's big for blocking. So I don't know. But again, year two tight ends, a lot of times what I've seen is that they can kind of take off in that year. They get more comfortable. And we've seen glimpses like in week 1.
Right. Do you think he's any more of a a receiving tight end or more of a blocking, more using the blocking game? Where do you see him more excelling?
Yeah, I think he's a better receiving tight end. I think he's just, I think he's better receiving. I mean, he doesn't have the height. He does have size. He doesn't have the size of Jesse James. But if I'm going off what I seen last year, they didn't use James to be the receiving threat. Though I think it will be TJ Hawkinson, if anybody.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to see him. I got him as a tight end sleeper again. Last year, he busted on me. I mean, it wasn't a big bust. I was getting him super late. Like I was getting him for pretty much free. It's not like I lost anything. But I like him. I think the upside is there. I think the talent is there. So again, just to kind of wrap this up, Kenny Golladay, you're probably not going to invest a second round pick.
Yeah, Kenny Golladay. The thing is, he's concerns me a little bit because of the other wide receivers that are going to be, taking a lot of plays away from him. But at the same time, contract year, he's with Darrell Bevel. He was really good. He led the league in touchdowns. He's going to give you numbers regardless. And, I expect him to do big things, especially if Stafford is there. And I do think Stafford will stay healthy, but I don't know. I think the Lions could go to the run game a little bit more this season, again, trying to protect Stafford. So I'd say you see similar things. I don't think his volume will go up, but I think healthy Stafford throughout the season, his production could get a little bump and in yards or somewhere like that.
Right. No, thanks a lot. Now, guys, listen, for Kenny Golladay, I may not end up getting him this year. Unfortunately, I'm a big Golladay fan because, as you know, with me, I wait on wide receiver. I load up on running backs in the first 3 rounds ish. I want to load up on that position. So I may not see Golladay. I might have to find another fantasy football sleeper. That's why I got to click subscribe, guys. I'll be doing sleeper episodes, all that stuff for you guys. But again, man, Troy, thanks. Now, do people know you as Troy or do they know you as Dion?
They go by Dion. That's kind of just something that they go by. So yeah.
Okay, perfect. Guys, Dose of Dion 2.0. Go look him up on YouTube for all your Detroit Lions information. Kenny Golladay, I'm waiting on him, and it looks like Dion will be as well.
Yeah.
Marvin Jones later. We're going to have to see where Marvin Jones ADP falls. And shoot him a follow. And yeah, I appreciate you being on, man. It means a lot.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me, man. I'm excited to do more of these. This was fun.
Yeah, Detroit Lions could be an exciting offense this year. Stafford healthy, mini Megatron going, and could be good. So make sure you guys target Marvin Jones as a sleeper potentially because he's going to be hoarding away volume from your second-round draft pick. That is Kenny Golladay. Smash a thumbs up, guys. Let me know, who are you drafting? You like Jones better? Do you like Golladay? Leave a comment below. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you coming on, Dion.
Thank you.
Talk to you guys.